Hey guys, Carlz0r here, and today we're going to be playing The Last Tinker, City of Colors. This game is not available to the public yet, but I've been given the opportunity to preview it early for you guys. And there's a lot that I want to cover in this game, so I'm going to be taking a look at it in two different videos. This first one is going to be me starting a new game and showing you guys some of the early levels and early gameplay and intro to the storyline and such. Second video is going to consist of me jumping into my save file, where I've made a little bit more progress in the story, gained some new abilities and stuff. You may want to avoid it if you're too worried about spoilers, because the main conflict of the game has revealed itself by that point, and I will be dealing with some of that. So if you don't want to see any spoilers, you don't have to watch the second video, and you can just watch this one instead. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into a new file here, and I think as soon as I hit this, it's going to jump into a little introductory cutscene, so I'm going to shut up and let you guys enjoy it. So, see you guys in a few seconds here. Oh yeah, you can choose your difficulty. I'm going to choose normal.
Tinker World, a place where everything can be built from basic materials, as long as the idea behind it is strong enough. From ancient forests to bustling cities, from the tallest mountain to the deepest ocean, all is crafted with nothing more than color, paper, and glue. Even small pets, or giant ones. Paint is produced in the City of Colors and brings life to the inhabitants of Tinker World. Everybody has a favorite shade, which makes them individual. But now, the city is in danger. Fortitude has turned to sadness, curiosity to fear, and strength to anger. People have divided the city into districts, even starting to hate other colors. Only in the outer district, where all colors are accepted, are people still normal. But among them lives a boy with very special talents. Soon, he will start a chain of events that will destroy the city.
So this is where we get our first look at the in-game graphics, and I gotta tell you, this is one of the major draws to the game for me. I find it beautiful. The art style and the use of color, it's just a lot more bold and vibrant than a lot of the muted dark grays and browns and dark greens that you see in a lot of the games that we play nowadays. I mean, not all games are like that, but it's always refreshing when we see games that make use of bright and vibrant colors like this. Anyway, on the left here we have Koru, this kind of monkey guy that is our main character. That's who we play as. And then in the middle we have Tap. This is our friend slash pet, flying green and yellow pig with horns. And he's the guy that's going to be teaching us some of the controls early on in the game. He's also going to be our guide. He'll be able to show us where to go when we have an objective and we might not know exactly which direction we want to head. He's also, you know, he has dialogue and everything. He talks to the in-game characters a lot of times, just as we do. And so he's kind of an extra little companion in a lot of ways. You see that Xbox 360 controls are present in all of the little tutorial thingies that he's giving us, and that is because I'm playing with the Xbox 360 controller. Although this does have full keyboard and mouse support, you can play it that way. I find games like this more enjoyable with a 360 controller. Often, like, I also play my side-scrolling games. You guys know me, I love my 360 controller. If the game's first-person, I'll play with a keyboard and mouse, but anyway, I'm babbling on. We were informed that we're on our way to participate in a race. But as we find out, we can't get to the race this direction because the gate's jammed again. It'll probably take a few hours to fix, so if we want to get to the race, we're going to have to find the long way. We're going to have to find another way around. Of course, this is the game's way of teaching us some game mechanics and controls and stuff before we have to do anything too difficult. So, this is a checkpoint. If we die or encounter any hazards that are that we're unable to get out of or whatever, we're going to respawn here. Also, whenever we come across a new one of those, it will restore our health fully. I believe that's how it works. It seems like it restores my health fully every time I walk by one. And even though you're kind of guided around and told where you should go and stuff, I oftentimes explore around a little bit more because there are collectibles in this game. They are these floating golden paintbrushes, and I'll see if I can find one someplace. I don't remember where they are in this level, but I know that there are some. In fact, if we hit start here, we can see that there are 5 of them in this area. And those paintbrushes, their use doesn't become apparent immediately, but we will find out later that that there's a guy in the world that collects these paintbrushes. Oh, this is the way we were supposed to go. I wonder if... Oh, yeah, I see one. So if we go around this way, which is a little bit less obvious, we find one of these paintbrushes. Anyway, as I was saying, we find out later in the game that there's a guy that collects these, and when we give them to him, when we have a certain amount of them, we're able to unlock stuff like concept art. I was trying to think of the word there. Concept art. We're also able to unlock some kind of classic style cheats like big head mode and small head mode and black and white mode, and you can also mirror the world and all kinds of crazy stuff like that when you have enough paintbrushes to give this guy. And we'll find him later on in the game. There's also a God mode and access to, I think it's called the Battle Arena, which I imagine is a place where we can go and just fight waves of enemies. And that is also available by finding, I think it's every single paintbrush in the game. Why do I get the feeling that I've said toothbrush by accident at some point instead of paintbrush? If I did, man, I'm an idiot. Anyway, yeah, paintbrushes. I just get this weird feeling like I misspoke at some point. If you lose all your health, yeah, he's teaching us about these waypoints. They're called Tinker Seeds. And you might be wondering about the name of this game, The Last Tinker. You learn more about this as you progress through the story, but it turns out that Carlz0r is a tinker. And that's a special kind of person who's able to do things that other people aren't able to do, which is, of course, what makes us the hero of this story, rather than it just being some other random person. You notice over here there is another paintbrush. We're going to collect that really quick. You have to be careful on these octopus tentacles because they do occasionally sink back into the water. So you want to kind of plan out your route first and have a destination in mind before you jump on, in case you end up going the wrong direction and end up sinking into the water. See, we could have gone either way around there because it looks like there's a platform there as well. Probably want to climb up this. Yep. And sometimes the game forces a perspective on you like that. It doesn't happen too often, and I don't really know what that's all about, but most of the time you can change the direction of the camera anytime you want to with the right analog stick on the Xbox 360 controller or with the mouse if you're playing with a mouse and keyboard. I was just testing that out there. Sorry if I made anybody dizzy. Press RB and L to jump down. I always just kind of... Oh, it wouldn't let me in that case. I usually just keep on holding the right trigger and press forward to go down. But in that case, you actually have to hit RB. RB is kind of like your dodge move, and that'll become important for combat later. But right now, we're not really doing a lot of combat. We are able to punch these crates and boxes and barrels and stuff, though, which you may have noticed me doing before. Sometimes they drop these little orange orb glowing things, and those are refills for our health, but we haven't lost any health yet, so we haven't needed them. And then sometimes they end up dropping these gem things. Let me see if I can find some. Oh, none there. Of course, when I want to show something, I can't find anything. Oh, there's one. It kind of just sucked into us. That is the currency in this game. And so far, I've only found a couple of uses for currency. It's used for buying extra combat moves later on in the game. And also, we need 500 of those to get into the race, as we'll come to find here in a little while. But since it's hard to earn 500 of those gem things normally, the game gives us a couple of opportunities, a couple little side missions that we can do to earn a lot of gems quickly. We'll be able to easily earn the gems that we'll need to enter the race just by doing what the game wants us to do. So this is teaching us about these little jump pad things, kind of a classic 3D platformer element where they give you these special things you can activate to get around the level. They kind of act as a one-way path sort of thing. You usually can only go one direction on them. There's usually no additional pad at the bottom to make a return trip, so... You want to be sure that you're done with being where you are before you take them. Explore the area, make sure there aren't any paintbrushes or anything that you're leaving behind before you use them. Same goes for some of the other transportation elements that we'll find later on as we work our way through this early game and learn about all the mechanics and stuff. We find out here that our character is good at making stuff, which is kind of what makes him a tinker. Anyway, let's go back here really quick to the gate and see if we missed anything back here really quick. There might be a paintbrush or something up here if we take a look around. Yep, I see one. Always be on the lookout for these things, because you can miss them, and I don't think that you can go back for some of them. I'm pretty sure that some of them are permanently missable in the game, which actually for me is kind of a downside. I have to complain about that a little bit, even though I love this game and I've really been enjoying my time playing it. One of the things I don't like is when there's collectibles in the game that you can miss and you're not able to go back for. And there's a few places in the game where you're just not ever able to go back to places that you've been. Like during the race, I think there's one paintbrush there that you can find, and I didn't manage to find it while I was running through because I was trying to race and I didn't look enough for it. I didn't find it, and therefore I don't have it. And I'll probably have to repeat the game if I want to have a run where I find all the paintbrushes. Maybe it'll give me an opportunity later on to maybe level select or something and go back and find some of the ones that I missed. I'm not sure. And if that's not a feature, maybe it could be a feature if the developers are willing to put that in. So a lot of this stuff around here is just for flavor. We see that there's all this stuff going on in the world, and this is where we enter the race. As we see, we need 500 gems. It didn't used to cost any money to enter the race, as we're finding out here, but now that there's turmoil and strife in the world and tension between the different people of this city, times are tough, and they're going to have to start charging money. So we can use tap by pressing the up button on the D-pad, and there's probably a control for it on the keyboard too, and I'm not sure what it is. It'll teach you when you play. And tap will fly off in the direction of our next objective. And all we have to do, if we want to go straight there, is follow him. And since I'm trying to show off some of this game within a limited amount of time here... Whoops, I went the wrong direction. I'm going to go ahead and follow him rather than exploring around too much like I normally would be doing. So this guy tells us about our first little side quest that we can do to help earn some money to join the race. We're going to go and meet a guy named Muddy, and he's going to give us a job that we can earn some money. So we head off in this direction. We actually end up in a different area. And in this area, there's a completely different set of paintbrushes to find. In the last area, there were 5. In this area, there are 3 different ones. So we keep that in mind as we play. This guy also wants to let us know that there's a fighting workshop going on. And this is our other way of earning some money. If we go and participate in the fighting workshop that guy does, that'll earn us the rest of the money that we'll need to join the race after we do the thing at the farm. Now, I don't remember if this is the way to the farm or to the fighting workshop, but we'll find out when we get there, I suppose. Either way, it'll be some valuable gameplay footage for you guys to see and enjoy. These are the kind of sky rail system of the game. You can make your way around the world on those, but once again, they are kind of a one-way trip. Once you go one way on them. Okay, this is the way to the fighting arena. This is where we're going to learn how combat in the game works, which is actually what I'd rather show anyway. Anyway, once again, kind of a one-way system of travel. In this case, There is a way to go back, it's just not the same rail. You have to find the other rail, and I think we have to complete this area before we can get to it. Just the game's way of partitioning itself off, giving us different areas to work with and stuff. So we're going to come into this place and we're going to split up into different groups and participate in these different training lessons that teach us about the combat of the game. You see a little bit of the color racism going on here, where there are apparently, you know, the red district is categorized as just being a bunch of bullies. Even though this guy is a red guy, he's more on our side, and yeah, no fighting without doing some preparation. We'll fight him at the end. Anyway, this guy is like a good red guy, whereas some of the other red guys, they've just become way too hostile to deal with. And part of that is just, you know, a big misconception. Maybe they're not actually angry all the time. Maybe they're just mad about being called bullies all the time. That's something that we're going to see a lot of in this game, is that there's a lot of tension between these people in the world, but a lot of it is just, you know, people being upset with each other because the people are upset with them. And as the tinker, as Koru, we're going to be kind of a great mediator between these people. Plus, there's going to be bigger problems arising. Oops, I messed up. There's going to be problems arising that are much bigger than the petty little problems that these people have with each other. In that training exercise, they just wanted me to hit each of these dummies, but never hit the same one twice in a row. So we kind of learn about the combat there. You can kind of jump between enemies a little bit in kind of a almost Batman Arkham game style. While we're doing combos, we can just hold in different directions to hit different enemies instead of hitting the same ones over and over again. This guy is going to teach us... Let's see. Oh, he just wants us to do basic combos. So we'll just go up here and mash the B button for a while to beat the crap out of this punching bag, and we have to hit it 15 times, at least. And this guy's pretty impressed with our skills. And our last training exercise right here is going to teach us about another move. And this is going to be, I think, a dodge. Okay, first we're going to learn how to dodge. And then we're going to learn how to combine dodging and hitting together to perform a more powerful hit. Three dodge punches. So we dodge towards a foe, or in this case a training dummy, and we hit it. And that's going to perform a slightly different kind of attack than usual. There are a lot of moves that you can learn in this game, and a lot of them become available later on when you reach the area that I'm in the save file that I'll be showing in the second part of this video. There's like a vending machine where you can buy new moves and learn how to use new stuff. You'll be able to do kind of like area of effect type moves and different kinds of dodges and punches and stuff. Plus, I believe that when you start gaining the different powers of the different colors and stuff, you get different types of attacks as well from that involve using the B, Y, and X buttons instead of just, or B, A, and X buttons rather than just the Y, rather than just the B button. Sorry, I keep on stumbling over my words here. Anyway, now we're going to have a practice fight against this guy. Or wait, no, we don't fight him quite yet. Keep on forgetting how this goes here. We're going to have groups of enemies attack us. So we just kind of do what we've been doing. Countering incoming blows, hit your opponents before they attack. Yeah, so a little exclamation point appears over the heads of enemies that are about to hit you. And you could either try to dodge out of the way, or you can just hit them first, and it'll mess up their attack. Combat's pretty basic in this. You'll end up getting hit from time to time, especially later on when enemies start using like long-range moves against you and stuff, and changing things up a little bit. But early on, it's pretty simple stuff. You're not in too much danger of getting beaten. I am also playing on normal mode. I'm sure that it's a little bit harder on hard mode as well. And again, it does get harder as you go further on in the game and the enemies start using different kinds of attacks on you. Final round, more enemies than ever. And they do put plenty of health pickups around here for you to pick up, plus the enemies drop more. This training exercise is pretty much impossible to fail unless you're just terrible. Okay, and we don't actually fight him ourselves. I thought for some reason that we had to fight him as well. But no, just his students. I was misremembering. Anyway, that's some of the early parts of the game. This video is running a little bit long now. You've kind of seen how the game starts out, and without spoiling too much about the beginning, I'm going to go ahead and cut off this video now. And I will see you guys in the next video where I'll show off a little bit of later in the game. Like I said, my save file, it's like an hour or two in, an hour or two depending on whether you're exploring a whole lot or whether you're just trying to rush through and go straight to the objectives as much as possible. Anyway, that's going to be all for now. I will see you guys next time in the next video about this, or I might wait a little while before I post that and post something else in between. We'll just have to see. Anyway, whatever ends up happening, I'll see you guys next time.